Hello and welcome to Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We're with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network. And we're coming to you live from here right after Tennessee fell to Alabama 34-20 in this edition of the third Saturday in October. And it really was kind of the definition of a tale of two halves. Tennessee goes into halftime up 20-7, 13-point lead. They feel good. It felt like Tennessee's going to pull off the upset for the second straight season. Obviously not how it went down in that second half, getting outscored 27-0. So let's break it down half by half. Noah, what was your takeaway from the first half of football?
Just the way Tennessee's defense played. I think coming into this game, we kind of expected a defensive battle between the both of these teams, given the way Tennessee played against Texas A&M last week, and what we've seen Alabama do in a lot of low-scoring games. But played really well. Got after the quarterback. I think had 3 sacks in that first half. Created 2 turnovers. Again, the pass rush helping with that. They had the strip sack, obviously, from James Pierce Jr., and then a pick in the back of the end zone. It was a dominant effort. It kind of felt like going into the halftime that Alabama wasn't going to be able to do enough offensively to overcome a 20-7 deficit. That's how good Tennessee's defense was playing. We've seen them play at an elite level this year. They couldn't have played any better, I think, in that first half. I know we'll get to it in a minute, but that just kind of made the second half all the more surprising. But overall, just to see them go from what they did last week against Texas A&M and just build off of that was really impressive, I thought.
On the offensive side of the ball, you looked at what Joe Milton was able to do. Probably, I think, pretty undebatably his best quarter of football was that first quarter. Started the game 9 for 9 for 106 yards and a touchdown. So in just 9 passes, didn't miss a throw, completed all of them, and that 10th pass, that drop ended up just being a draw. It wasn't a bad throw by Milton at all. But in just those 9 throws in the first quarter, he's able to eclipse his mark that he had throughout the entirety of the Texas A&M game, where it's not a secret he didn't do very well against the Aggies. Joe Milton looked great to start this game. The run game wasn't completely there. It was really led by Joe Milton himself, but Dylan Sampson had a somewhat decent start on his only 2 carries up until halftime. And then the wide receiver, Squirrel White, great catch in the end zone to get Tennessee on the board first. You look at guys like Ramel Keaton, who kind of got in the fold a little bit too, making up for a drop early in the game. Then the tight ends, Colin Castles, continues that tight end scoring in every game streak now with a big touchdown grab right before half. So that there was kind of a lot of success on offense, and I think Tennessee felt really good heading into the halftime break. Well, that's where everything started to fall apart. Tell us about what happened at halftime.
Yeah, it was surprising to see Tennessee come out there. Alabama obviously hits on 2 big plays, and the second one being a touchdown that started the spiral for Tennessee's defense after playing so well. And we talked to Elijah Herring afterwards, and he talked about the mentality of the team, what the adjustments were like. So the team felt good at halftime. It felt good coming out of the tunnel. Said that they felt like they had kind of won the game, at that point. And again, like I said, it felt that way. I know it's Tennessee and Alabama, and I know this series has been lopsided, but with as good as Tennessee's defense had played at that point in the game, it really did feel like it was Tennessee's game. But again, a lot of breakdowns in that second half. The pass rush, which was super effective in the first half, you just didn't see that as much. They weren't able to get to Milrose much. They gave him a lot of time. We know he's really explosive. I think this week when we did the preview, all of his touchdowns have been 15 or more yards. So we knew he was going to hit on a few of those. I just didn't know how much he was going to do it, and he did it enough to win them the game because Tennessee just wasn't able to get to him as effectively as they did in the first half.
The Tennessee defense just completely fell apart. You saw it on the first 2 plays from scrimmage in the second half. Big-time run and a big-time throw. And within 2 plays, Alabama's back on the board. Tennessee, you still have to feel somewhat good about yourself. But then you turn around, there's a penalty on the kickoff, and on the offensive side of the ball, they go 3 and out. Feels like Tennessee kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. You mentioned what Herring said at the half, or Herring said after the game about halftime. Well, Squirrel White kind of said the opposite. He said, we wanted to step on their throat and just finish this thing off, and obviously that didn't happen. So mentality kind of maybe a little differs on the team from player to player heading out of that half, but definitely felt good and didn't end good. Like I said, Tennessee kind of gets a little passive in that second half, almost played not to lose, it felt like, in that third quarter, and next thing you knew, looked at the scoreboard, Tennessee was down 7. Well, Joe Milton's got a chance now to lead this team to tie this game up here in the fourth quarter. John Campbell just gets torched at left tackle. Guy comes around the end, blows up Joe Milton from behind, something he just never saw. He fumbles. It's scooped and scored. It reminded you a little bit of last season when Alabama, I believe it was Dallas Turner, did the same thing And then Tennessee obviously is able to get that next score and make it a 7 or and tie the game and get it ultimately win. Well, this time it was to kind of put the dagger in 14-point game. Tennessee didn't really have a chance from there. So it's just really a tale of two halves. I don't think there's really much other ways to put it. Disappointing finish for Tennessee. They'll try to rebound next week in Lexington to try to get their first true road game win of the year against the Kentucky Wildcats, who are coming off of a bye week. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the content leading up to that game, as this season is still in full swing, kind of towards the halfway point of SEC play. And head over to VolReport.com for all of our written content. Links to everything is in the description. Thank you for watching.